Praiseworks Health and Wellness presents The Wellness Journey, live with host Linus Woods Mullins. This weekly program showcases the fun and simplicity of wellness for women 40 and beyond. Learn from the experts in the fields of nutrition, fitness, holistic practices, and spiritual fulfillment, and apply life-changing tips that will lead you down the path of total wellness for your mind, body, and spirit. Here's Linus.
Welcome to the Wellness Journey. This is Linus of Praiseworks, and I'm very excited because this is the start of a brand new year. And depending on when you are listening to this, it happens to be January of 2015. But no matter when you might be listening to this broadcast, I can say unequivocally that this is a timeless issue, a timeless topic that we're talking about today. And it all has to do with our limiting beliefs, how we allow the things that we think about ourselves on the negative side to prevent us from doing the things that really would probably enhance our life and help us meet our goals, help us to be more joyous. It's just the idea that we sometimes talk our things out of the very thing we need to do. And today we're going to be talking just about that, our limiting beliefs, and a method that will work to help you move past that negative self-talk that we all have a tendency to engage in from time to time. I have with us today Mary Henderson from Australia. We did this interview about 2 weeks ago, and I tell you, after talking with her, I felt so much more centered and directed in terms of what I wanted for my life in 2015. So I have definitely been using some of the very practical tips that she talks about in this broadcast. You're going to love it. Mary Henderson is a celebrated author and an internationally recognized speaker. And she is one of the world's leading mind-body experts when it comes to using science, as she says, science to finally apply the ancient wisdoms of how to attract health, wealth, and happiness while living in a modern life and modern society. Mary has published a number of fictional books on the experience of being human today, and she is furthermore the author of The Secret Power of book series, 6 books, which in a practical way teaches all of us how to create the life, the body, the relationship, the wealth, and the health and the business we want. I think you will love this interview. I was just mesmerized by the things that Mary Henderson had to say. Please listen, and after the broadcast, I'm going to be coming back on to share with you some really fantastic information that I think all of you need to know. This is Linus, and you're listening to The Wellness Journey, and we're getting ready to go to a pre-recorded interview with Mary Henderson. I am so excited and pleased to have with us today Mary Henderson. You know, it's amazing, this world of communication and technology, and you're able to reach out to so many different people and connect with people who ordinarily you would never get a chance to meet. So I, for one, I am very grateful for social media and the Internet and all the different fantastic ways that we're able to connect with one another. And I do believe that there are so many kindred spirits out there that we never get a chance to truly connect with unless we allow ourselves to be directed. You'll get this phone call or an email or something that makes you think, aha, I need to follow up with that. And that's what happened. I heard from Mary Henderson's public relations agent, and he said, you've got to talk with her. She's wonderful. And it's like, yeah, okay. Because I get those calls all the time. Usually when I find people for my broadcast, it's through one of those what I call click here, click there. You know, I'm on Twitter, and I'm clicking around, and all of a sudden I find someone else, I need to have this person on my show. Well, that's not how I found Mary Henderson. I found her the traditional way through her publicist, but when I spoke with her, I was right back at how I am with the click here, click there. I thought to myself, I have to have her on my show. And you'll be finding out why I feel this way. Mary Henderson is absolutely a joy and a blessing. She is an internationally recognized speaker and one of the world's leading mind-body experts. And when it comes to what she does, she says she's finally getting a chance to use science when it comes to applying the ancient wisdoms of how to attract health, wealth, and happiness while living a modern life in modern society. Mary has published a number of fictional books on the experience of being human, and today she is furthermore the author of The Secret Power of, it's a book series, 6 books, which in a practical way teaches how to create the life, the body, and the relationships, the wealth and the health, and the business that one wants. And I can tell you that from talking to Mary, she is definitely not just a beautiful person on the inside, but she's a beautiful person on the outside. And I am so glad that she is here today to share with us her wisdom when it comes to really being able to move forward with our lives and to attract the life we want by getting rid of the limiting beliefs. And she truly has a method that works. Mary, thank you so much for being on the wellness journey today.
Thank you, Linus. That was so sweet of you to introduce me like that. I hope I live up to your expectation in this interview. So thank you so much.
Oh yes, of course. We've talked twice, and both times we're just gabbing like we had known each other for years. But you know, that's how it is when kindred spirits meet. And even though I didn't find you through the click here, click there, I still had that same aha. This is a special person that I'd like to label, and my listeners know they know what this means, that I'd like to label as my cyber sister. Listeners, Mary Henderson is a cyber sister. She really has a lot of that mind, body, spirit philosophy that I so much value, and she is definitely part of a growing group of family of women who, she's like a sister from another mother. So I'm so glad that you are here with us today on the Wellness Journey. I have been to your site, and I was in the process today of signing up for your challenge, because I'm going to take it, because I think that as we talked about before we started the show, I'm at the precipice, and I believe that one of the reasons why we're talking today is that I'm supposed to do this challenge and really find out whatever else it is I need to know to achieve the life that I have been working on, the kind of life that I feel the Creator has created me to have.
Right.
How did you come to do what you do? How did you come to arrive at this particular philosophy in your life?
Do you know what, Linus? I think that, and I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I feel that to get to this point in your life, you have to hit rock bottom, or you have to hit a moment in time where you have just had enough. Enough is enough. You just cannot live another moment, being poor or unhealthy or attracting bad relationships or having, a weight issue. It's all about hitting that moment where you've just had enough. And that's what happened to me. My journey actually began in 2011 when I gave birth to my second little boy, and at that time, I had my own software development company for 7 years. I had a full infrastructure, an entire company that I was running with staff and all. And 3 hours after I gave birth to my little boy, I literally, and I mean literally, just had that moment in time where I just said enough. And it was so ironic how it all unfolded. And it was all because my business card fell on the hospital bed as I was searching my purse for some lip balm. And I looked at that card and realized in that moment that my entire life was made up of labels. The perception of what I wanted other people to think I was basically in that business card symbolized that for me. And that completely freaked me out. It was a wake-up moment. It was that moment where I just went, whoa, this card is defining my life. This title, managing director, is defining who I am. And yet, Linus, I hated going to work for my own company, Linus, my own company. I hated it. Every day was an uphill battle. And so that's how my journey began, Linus. And then I went home. I was, during that period, the first 2 weeks with your baby, I think that, just women just naturally have the ability to just go deep if we allow it. And I did. And I read, in that period of 2 weeks, I read a book by Dr. Candace Pert called Molecules of Emotion, and that changed my life. That was the turning point. That was the moment that I changed my life. And this is where I've arrived.
What is it about your life that changed?
What changed for me, Linus, was that I was always chasing the end result. Always. I was chasing money. I was chasing the perfect relationship, or what I thought was a perfect relationship. I was chasing the perfect car, the perfect house. I was chasing the material outcome, and I forgot about me. I forgot to ask that most important question that many of us forget to ask: who am I? What am I doing here? Is what I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing? Am I serving people? Do I love myself? Do I love what I do? Do I love the people I'm around? I forgot to ask that. I was living a completely egocentric life. There was nothing about my life that was deep and meaningful. Everything about my life was superficial, that made me incredibly unhappy year on year. That's what changed.
You know, that's interesting, because I think that many people who are listening to this right now can identify with that, because we all find ourselves embarking on these journeys that we decided to embark upon, and we get the skills and the knowledge and everything else to hopefully be successful on those journeys. And somewhere along the way, many of us realize, ooh, wait a minute, I don't even like this anymore. And I can definitely remember that same feeling when the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I spent 25 years in corporate America and was very successful in my chosen field. But in order to be successful, I had along the way developed an anxiety disorder. I mean, I was scared to death every day that I was operating as an imposter. You know, that one day somebody would find out that I wasn't as good as I really was and I didn't really deserve this job. I mean, crazy thinking, because the reality was I really wasn't operating in my gifting. I had developed the skills and I did well in that, but it wasn't really what I was supposed to be doing with my life. And, you know, you talk a lot about that in your philosophy, and one of the things you talk about is self-mastery and the importance of that. Could you explain to our listeners, what is self-mastery? Why is it important? And how do you go about attaining it?
Self-mastery is critical, actually, because what happens, Linus, is as human beings, we've been given what we think is a blueprint to our life. You know, you go to school, you go to university, you get married, you live here, you do this, you do that, you aspire to this, you aspire to that. And media has a lot to answer for this, by the way. You know, so we believe that this blueprint that we've been presented with from birth, you know, right through to, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old is right. Like, that's what I'm here for. But in actual fact, the blueprint is what we create. It's our blueprint. It's the blueprint that we design that's right for us. And what happens is that because we're all running for the end result, what happens, Linus? You just hit the nail on the head. Anxiety, stress. The people go to work, they come home, they're tired, they sit on the couch, they watch TV, they turn it off, they go to bed. That's life for most people. But actually, that is not life. That is a false reality. That is brain dead in the first degree. What we need to do is turn that TV off, and self-mastery starts by those three questions. Who am I? And we need to access information that can open that door. See, I always describe it as a crack in the door. When there's a crack in the door, you can see the light. It's finding the crack in the door so you can see the light, which moves you to open the door and step in and to start unfolding the truth, to find what life means, to find who you are, to understand who you are, to understand your biology, your physiology, your brain, your mind, your conscious, your subconscious. What does all this mean? And self-help is great at opening the door. The problem is with self-help is that most people stick to self-help and they don't go any further or beyond self-help. Self-help, the premise is beautiful.